So we need to do a stop right here. And Liz, you need to talk about peyote.
Oh my God. I'm like the last person to talk about this. But I think it is important for us because we also have to talk about ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is peyote? What is ayahuasca? Let's talk about it. Peyote is a cactus that contains an alkaloid called mescaline.
All right. Tequila.
It's different in structure from other psychedelics like LSD, DMT, psilocybin. It's more similar, funny enough, to amphetamines and MDMA. Though it's obviously famous for like a totally different high. It's like very trippy, like, hallucinogen, you touch God, whatever. So it doesn't feel like ecstasy or speed. But it's actually more similar in structure to that. It lasts a super, super long time. It goes on for like 12 hours. Some people will remember like the entirety of a Sopranos episode. But there is actually, weirdly enough, a long intertwined history between peyote and the Mormon church, which is weird. The grandson of Joseph Smith, Frederick M. Smith, or Fred M., as his followers call him, was a super big fan of peyote. He said that he was using the drug to find the higher powers of man. This is kind of classic, not classico, but classic descriptor of peyote. In fact, sounds exactly like James Mooney. But this dude, Fred M., he participated in a ton of Native American peyote ceremonies and wanted to introduce it into the practice basically as a sacrament in the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because this is after the Mormon Wars, right? Which is very weird. Peyote was, at the turn of the century, it was pretty restricted on Indian reservations. There's kind of been a little rewriting of some history here. Most of them actually really prohibited it. But there were small groups that were really promoting this stuff, really like mystical kind of offshoots of more centralized tribes. And in 1918, Congress tries to ban it as a narcotic. Peyote leaders, this kind of like small group, along with a group of ethnographers. This is like, look, we're talking about this is the turn of the century, 1918. Anthropology is huge.
I know.
Everyone is measuring everyone's skulls.
Yes. I was going to say, I'll make a joke about the store Anthropology, but I actually don't know what they said there.
Yeah, everyone's wearing floofy, ill-fitting, like apron dresses.
A woman, they sound like in my head,
oversized bird print or whatever.
They're sounding like that's like where women are like, I love this potato sack dress.
Where cottage cheese goes twee.
What?
Our lady listeners will know what I'm saying.
I do. That's wow. If I use that on a woman, will it work?
I hope not.
Yeah. So I mean, these guys. This is like the era of like Indiana Jones guys, but more racist.
Yes, absolutely. So a group of like peyote leaders and ethnographers, aka a bunch of those Indiana Jones types who've gone on safari and have taken a bunch of peyote and are like, damn, this rocks. They go to testify in front of Congress in like defense of its use and not banning it as a narcotic. This included a man, and this is true, by the name of James Mooney. Now, this is not our James Mooney, who's as he likes to say, middle name, Indian name is Flaming Eagle. This is not James Flaming Eagle Mooney. This is James Mooney, 100% affirmed white man, who was an ethnologist with the Smithsonian and, is claimed by some to have been the first white man to participate in an all-night peyote ceremony. And by some, I mean the ONAC, Oklahoma Native American Church, headed by James Flaming Eagle Mooney.
So to be clear here, James Mooney, the James Flaming Eagle Mooney, says that his real grandfather, who he actually does know the name of, who's from Ireland, is commonly understood not to be his real grandfather, but that James Mooney actually secretly fucked his grandmother and the baby is his.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.